do the roads lead us? The roads lead us to the Swanzey Historical Museum. And today we're going to be meeting with Mary Faulkner and Joe Gregory, who are volunteers here because this is an entirely volunteer organization.
Yes, it is.
Excellent, excellent. And so we have all kinds of things to see today. What we're going to see is we're going to see Scarlet Marauder uniforms and different things. We've got organs. We've got all kinds of machinery. We have an old fire hose, fire pump. Steamer, yep. We have a car, all kinds of information here. So what I'm going to do is give you just a taste of what you can see down here. But this is right on Route 10, right near the Browns field, softball fields, right in back of the elementary school. I mean, there's no reason for you not to be able to find it. So as we came in the door, we saw a bell. And the bell will be something that we'll talk about a little bit later. Mary will fill us in on that. But right now, we're going to focus on the Scarlet Marauders. Now, many of you may have learned about the Scarlet Marauders if you were back in like the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. But people now have no idea about the Marauders. This was a drum and bugle fife corps.
Yes, it was.
Yep, yep. And this is a picture of them when they were first, like probably in the 40s, I would think, 40s or 50s.
In the
I
50s.
believe we started about 1941.
Yeah.
So they were still, at this point, the Fife and Drum Corps.
Right, right.
Yes,
And their uniforms were yellow and green.
Yes.
Okay.
We have in
And-
back of me a hat.
Yep, so they have a hat here. Now, if anybody is watching this and they have things that are memorabilia from the Marauders, you might want to contact these guys because this display is still under
Construction.
under construction, right?
Yeah.
And so they are looking for different things that people might have that you might just have sitting around that you have no idea could make a difference and show people what things were like. So I think Joe is going to give us a little bit more information about this display. And where should we start, Joe?
Well, first of all, this is the Scarlet Marauder flag that they carried. These are some of the uniforms. They were of all ages.
Yep.
Here's one of the smaller people.
Right,
that-
because the kids in the picture, they look like they were probably teenagers.
They were teenagers and down.
Yeah.
I'm not sure
Wow.
how young the youngest one was.
Yeah.
I think Clara Gomarlo got the group together.
Yeah.
We really need someone, a volunteer, someone in the town to help us create a history for
Yeah.
the Scarlet Marauders
Yeah.
and the Fife and Drum Corps because we don't have much information.
Right.
When they cleaned out the part of the athletic association that's being torn down, a lot of this stuff came from there.
Wow.
We went up and pulled it out of the eaves and closets and so forth. So therefore, I don't know too much about some of it.
Right.
Other people have donated instruments. We've got instruments up here.
Yep.
Here's some of their hats. Here's the one of the drummers. This is a very heavy thing that's here.
Right. Yeah.
Other
So this is part of history.
It's a
So
part of our history,
this is
and
like-
we really need to know more about it so we
Right.
can have it written up so that people and for future generations
Yeah.
can come and see.
And enjoy it. Because, you know, if we don't save some of this stuff, our family, our kids, our grandkids, our great-grandchildren are never going to know about any of this stuff that happened. You know, there's a lot of people, I'm sure, that played in the Drum and Bugle Corps and they're like, forgotten. I mean, they've just taken it out of their head because they haven't done it for so many years. But there's a lot of stories to be told. So
There
I
is.
think we should look at some more of the displays that you have here and learn a little bit more about the stories.
Okay, one more thing.
Oh,
we
yes.
would love to have someone come and help us identify the people that are in the various pictures
Oh, yeah.
that we have of
Yep.
the Fife and Drum Corps
Yeah.
and the Scarlet Marauders.
Yeah. Okay. We'll stop down, talk to Joe or talk to Mary, and we'll get this done. So, Joe and Mary, we have an organ here. Can you tell me a little bit about the organ?
Well, the organ was from the Westport Methodist Church, and it was made in Brattleboro, Vermont. They asked us if we would like it, and so it ended up here.
Yeah. And Westport is part of Swanzey.
Westport is the southernmost village of Swansea.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Now, this organ is different. You don't plug this into the wall.
No,
No.
This one you have to pump.
Right.
And you can pump it through by either those pumps there, or there's another pump that's on the back, because you can't pull it out right now. But anyway, you pull it out and somebody pumps that by hand. on the back side.
And I'm not positive, but I think for the Old Homestead play, they have one
They
that
have
they
one.
play because sometimes it sounds really good and sometimes it's
Sounds
not.
really bad.
Yeah, when it's good, it's really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a smaller one, and it's more ornate, but it's on the same. It was made for a home.
Right.
For the home.
Yeah.
build.
Nice. Well, I have played an organ like this before.
have?
Yes, I have, and it's a lot of work because you're pedaling the whole time, and you have to pedal and think at the same time, and yeah. So we were talking about the Old Homestead, and
That is.
this is a painting or a photograph.
It's a. I believe it's a pastel.
Okay, and this is of Denman Thompson when he was younger.
Well, that one is him when he was older.
Older. Oh.
We have a younger one in
As well?
the display case.
Yeah, and then I see on the back wall here, we won't shoot over there, but there's a nice
There's the-
display when he was 50 or 55.
When he was 55, was it?
55th birthday.
Yep.
And,
He has a
cast.
beautiful frame, and we'll show you that, but it's a beautiful frame with all of the people that were the cast members. And it's got a velvet background and huge, frame around it. It's just really beautiful.
beautiful.
It's an important part of Swanzey is the Old Homestead play and Denman Thompson, and there's a lot of things that are named after him and the things that he came in contact with.
It's a big thing in Swansea.
Yeah. So if you haven't been to the play, get down there. July. Put it on your calendar. Okay, a couple more things. In back of you, we have a stagecoach.
That's right.
And tell us a little bit about the stagecoach.
Well, it was a mail coach last, and it ran from between Boston and I think it was Riverside, and I don't remember what the name of it is now. But it went to Concord, and it was just a mail coach.
And they still use
took
this
passengers.
in like the 1800s or so? I think.
Yes.
Late 1800s.
Late 1800s. So isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Because it wasn't really that long ago that they were using a horse and stagecoach to transport. Can you imagine today?
Yeah.
And I can't imagine riding in it either.
No, I know. It must have been so uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable because
So-
wooden tires. And,
I know. The suspension?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but the extension was really something because instead of these sheaths being metal, they're made out of leather straps.
Oh my gosh.
So that made it a lot more
Yeah,
comfortable,
gentle.
supposedly.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's head on, and there's trains and other mechanical engines here that we need to look at. So let's take a look at those as well. These are some amazing engines. Yeah.
Sweet.
So these are some engines that Paul Tilton had put together, and he was part of a small engine club.
I guess so.
I think that's what, you have a nice
That's what it
sign here that
says.
says it's from, he was from Keene. This is beautiful. I mean, can you imagine the work that it took to put this on?
He also had a more. He also had more of
The engine parts?
parts to go
Yeah.
on there, and they used to have a tray in the backyard. They had a track, and he could ride on
Yeah.
the other.
Wow. So you could give little rides.
And the kids loved it.
Yeah. Well, then there's engines that go along with these, and you guys have 3 or 4 engines here that we can show people, and people can come down and have demonstrations of different engines.
Oh, yes.
So you've got...
They all go on.
Yeah, you've got a general purpose reversing engine, you've got a horizontal engine, a marine engine, and a walking beam engine. So I think I'm only going to try a couple of them.
Okay.
But like this one is the horizontal engine, and I think it goes up or down? Down. Okay. Oh, here it goes. There we go. So this is a replica of the horizontal engine. This was used in sawmills, and they used this also in box shops.
Let me see.
Okay, and this one here is a marine engine. The marine engine, let's see. Oh, that's a tiny little one. It kind of sounds like a motorboat.
Yeah. I'm sure it was put in a larger boat than a motorboat. but
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. And then I'll just try this walking beam. This one here was used in boats and mines. It's kind of loud, but not too bad. Oh,
It's working.
it's working nicely. Yeah. Yeah, so you can come down and you can take a look at some of the engines that they have and learn a little bit more about these magnificent giants.
These also will go because they're lifted up off. So the train will, however, I do not, I don't have the strength to open this up.
Oh.
But
Oh, so
also,
this will go along the track as well?
yeah, it will
Wow.
go
Yeah.
so that it works, and
Yeah.
it has a little whistle on.
Oh, cute. Cute. Just another thing that you can see here at the Swanzey Historical Museum.
Right.
Yeah. Well, let's look at a few more things here. So this display here has lots of what I would consider art pieces, but they were actually toys.
Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of these were from Kingsbury, because I don't think, some people may not realize Kingsbury is pretty much no longer in existence now. But when I was younger, my dad worked there and they did a lot of, machinery. But before that, and before the war, they were a toy company. And they manufactured a lot of toys. You'll see them in the Keene Historical Society, and you've got some toys here as well. So these are just beautiful, huge, huge cars, but they're pretty much, I'm sure, pretty much to scale of what the real cars were of the 30s or 40s or whenever that was. Then you've got also some trains, and it looks like all kinds of little replicas of things that have been donated. Where have you gotten some of these from?
The station is in that's West Swansea's railroad station.
And where was that located in West Swansea?
It was on South Grove Street, between Homestead Avenue and South Grove Street.
Yeah, because there's nothing there now that you
No,
would
there's
even
not.
know that it was there.
No.
Yeah. Again, one of those things that if it's gone, it's lost.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so you have these toys. Oh, and look you've got a little City of New York. It looks like a little barge, like a coal kind of boat. Anyway, just a lot of little toys that people can come and visit and check it out. Then we have a steamer.
Steamer.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Right.
we have a steamer here that was actually used in Swansea
Yes.
to help put out fires and different things. Can you tell me a little bit about that, Mary?
It was bought from the Amoskeag steam engine in Manchester, and back in 1901, and it was used here. It's still running. Let's see, I think that it was refurbished, and they used the Kingsbury building to
Yeah.
refurnish.
So we keep
refurbish
mentioning
it.
the Kingsbury. But what was the link between here and Kingsbury's?
Charlie Henry Hand.
Okay.
was the
And
big
so
one.
tell me a little bit about Charlie and what you know about him and his interests.
Well, Charlie was very interested in anything mechanical, and he ran, at Kingsbury's for many years, and everybody loved him. Charlie was just a person that everybody loved. And when they refurbished this, it was in one of the bays, and what happened would be the men would come in on their lunch hour, on their own time, and they took the thing all apart, and it works.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, things that you probably wouldn't have happen today.
No.
But it's beautiful, and it's great that you guys are going to have this
Yeah.
to show people in the future.
We have
Yeah.
loaned it out for parades in the past, but we
Yeah.
don't any longer.
No.
Yeah, you have to be careful.
Yeah.
Now you've got a vehicle here. Joe, can you tell me a little bit about this vehicle?
Well, it was owned by Mrs. Isabel Dugan. She lived in East Swansea, and they owned the Dugan Oil Company in Keene. And they bought this, and she had it all refurbished, and it was donated to the museum, all restored. It's a 1930 Model A.
Yeah. And if you
Ford.
stop by here, you can see her right in the front seat.
Yeah.
No, you'll have to check it out. But there's so much more to see. So we're going to head upstairs. We'll see a little bit more about what they have here. And I can't tell you, you really got to come down here because there's so much to see. Let's go. Oh, I can't believe you guys have a second floor here as well. And did I introduce you to Jacques? This is my friend here that we've met. We'll talk about him in a minute. But right now, I'm a little tired. Do you know where we can find a bed?
Right here.
Oh, right here. right here.
That doesn't look like a bed to me.
Am I going to be?
This bed belonged to Denman Thompson,
That does not look like a bed.
but it is.
Okay, so
This opens up, the springs are in here,
spring is
this
in.
front comes down, and it's a bed.
wow.
We're not
that's-
sure exactly which room it was in. We don't have a picture of the room that was in, but
You never know. There might be someone out there, though, Joe, that might have a picture of the bed or know of how to use one of these beds.
That would be wonderful. If we
Yeah.
could get instructions on how to open this up.
And you could have a
it
bed and
would be
breakfast here.
wonderful. You want to cook?
Oh, I will. No. But anyway, but look at the intricacy of this whole thing. I mean, that is
beautiful.
just beautiful. And have you looked in the drawers? Are there any
drawer-
secret compartments or anything?
Not that we know of,
No.
no. The drawers do open. It does have the maker in here. It was made by the Burr Folding Bed Company
In New York, I think.
in New York City.
Well, maybe
been
somebody in New York
patented.
City is going to see this and they're going to know that family and how they use these beds, and you're going to get a phone call and you'll be able to understand this. That'll be
Would
great.
be wonderful.
Yeah, cool. All right, we're done with our nap. What is all of this stuff here? Mary, why don't you tell me a little bit about this?
This is World War I. All of this in here is World War I memorabilia. That happens to be my father-in-law's uniform.
Wow,
And
he
a
was a
picture
tiny
of him.
guy.
No, this fellow here.
Yeah.
This fellow, and this is his
That-
uniform.
that's
in
his
this.
uniform.
That's a pretty small uniform.
He
Yeah,
was. He
yeah.
was. Of course, it may have shrunk when I washed it too.
Oh, wool probably. Yeah.
It was-
So
it's
your
wool.
father-in-law.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's a beautiful picture. I'm surprised that you've got it in such great condition.
Well, it was in the living room, so it didn't go too far.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was in one of the. This is an important thing.
Yeah,
The
it
Navy
is.
was very important to him.
Right.
And he was in the Panama Canal Zone during World War I.
Yeah.
Because they figured that the Japanese that they would try to bomb.
Right. The canal.
To
Yeah.
make that.
Yep. Wow. Wow. Okay, and is this a canteen?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
canteen, and wow,
And,
I can't imagine
that
wearing
looks-
that
that
is
looks
a
like-
heavy helmet.
Yeah.
Is that it? I think
That's
a
not
German
his.
helmet.
Yeah, that was
That's
a German helmet,
Right.
actually.
Well, I'm glad they had to
Those
wear those,
brought
not
home.
us.
Well, we had similar.
Right,
We have
right.
some
Well,
over there.
Let's see what's in this
go
next
ahead,
case
Joe.
then. Go right
Okay.
ahead.
Well, the canteen, we have some ammunition, there's a hand grenade, and all this has been checked out. That is perfectly safe. No one's going to get blown up. A helmet. We have the leggings, the puttees, the things that they used to wrap around their legs. We have a gas mask down here. What they call a soldier's housewife. It's got sewing thread, needles, and different things that they could use to.
Yeah. So where did you
Keep the
get all
uniform.
this stuff?
It was all donated.
Wow. And all from the
donated.
same person, or?
No, from various people.
Yep.
Yeah.
One man in particular gave us quite a bit.
Quite
Yeah.
a few
Um,
things. The hand grenade
I
there
can't
too.
think of his name at the moment.
Yeah.
But lots of very interesting items here, which
Yeah.
we still have some research to do
Yeah.
on them.
Now, are some of these people that are in these pictures here, are they from the area, or do you know anything about those?
This man here, Harry Worcester is. I'm not sure if he is in this picture or not. It is the New Hampshire. It is a New Hampshire regiment.
Yeah, so I'm sure there were
But,
people here from Swansea.
Yeah.
We may have them identified. That I don't really know. It's not on the back of that, but they
The
may be in
picture
the
that's
file.
over there with all of the, they're all identified and they're all from Swansea.
From Swansea, yeah.
Yeah, that
So
table
what
there.
what a great thing, and how proud we can be that
We-
we had these people in our community.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really, I think they're all identified and they were all, as I said, they were all from Swansea,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Wow. Well, the women that were home probably had to have something to do while the war was going on. So let's take a look at some of those quilts.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, this is just crazy. Now you've got some crazy quilts here. I think some of these quilts are from like the early 1800s.
Yes, this is the middle 1800s.
Okay.
The date right here is signed by, each block is signed by someone. This was 1858.
Wow.
This is late 1800s, but all the names are embroidered.
And this is
that is probably 1930s.
this is just to me very incredible because it looks like silk that they embroidered on. They've embroidered every single little edge. I mean, if anybody's a quilter, they know how much work this is. And crazy quilts are used, what they do is they use the pieces that are left over to make these crazy quilts. So, you know, that's what they did. They didn't go out and buy stuff at the linen store. They used clothing that they would have had, or maybe they had gowns that they would have used, and that's what they made their quilts out of.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah.
They're a beautiful, beautiful embroidery, and it's silks and satins.
And you know, that was something that the women could do when the guys were at war, or the women just wanted to get together. You know, it was nice for the women to just chat because it wasn't like everybody was just, you know, next door. They had to travel sometimes from town to town to get to see their friends.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have watches, all kinds of different things. So you have a Bible here, and we'll talk a little bit more about the Bible and how important it was to carry on history as well in just a couple minutes. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what else do we have here for clothing?
We have just some dresses that some of the earlier ladies wore. I think these were around the turn of the century. Over there in the cabinet is more Denman Thompson souvenir type dishes. That was Denman Thompson's chair. It's a pretty big chair.
Well, he really liked wood.
Yes.
And ornate things, it looks like.
Well, it was the late 1800s.
Right, and he
died
had the
in
money.
1911.
He had the money to be able to buy these things too, I think. You know, unlike a lot of people that were probably in the area.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And then you have another signed quilt up here, it looks
We
like.
do on
Yep.
the railing.
Yeah, and some
We have a
butterflies.
variety of quilts. There's one up, you can't see it in the camera, but
Right.
one made by the people in Swanzey.
Yeah. And do you know what year that was made?
I don't.
No. No. It looks like it's probably
Maybe
1980s, 90s.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's all kinds of different things here. I mean, we've got all kinds of tools. There's so much more that we haven't shown you today. And, you know, I think all you have to do is you just have to make an effort and come down here because it's totally worth every minute of it.
We have one more floor you haven't even seen.
Another floor. Oh my gosh. You've got to stop by. So let's look at that Bible that you were talking about.
Okay.
Okay.
This Bible here was a polyglot Bible, but it was published in Brattleboro, Vermont. And I was telling Jody that a lot of the old Bibles, and this is one of them, had special pages for genealogy of the people that owned it. And this one starts in 1839 with a David Carleton. It tells who he married, when he was born, and so on. And it goes through several pages up through early 1900s. After that, they didn't. 1915 is the last entry here. But
Yeah, and
it's a
I never
good
knew.
representation.
I never knew that people did this. I know that you were mentioning that this was something that was very common, that people would have their Bibles and pass them down through the ages, but I just had never heard of that. I mean, I guess we didn't do it in my family, so I didn't realize that was done. But what a great thing. You know, if you have a Bible, go check out the back of it because you might know more about your family than you think.
Right.
Or maybe you don't want to know that. But it is a great place to look. Now, we've looked at a lot of history here today.
yes.
And if you don't save the things that you think are really important to your family, then it will be lost. So if you have things that you want to share, if you want to keep it, you know, go to somebody, find out how to take the best care of it. You know, a lot of the things that you have here look like they're in really great condition, but they didn't just get that way without any care. Right. And you know, a lot of these, they have to be taken care of. They have to be cleaned the right way. If you're going to restore things, you need to restore them the right way. Go to see somebody professional because you would hate, because I've learned this from that other show that we watched, the road show, that you have to be careful how you take care of things, because if you wash them with the wrong thing, it could, you know, lose its value, not for your family, but for the value of the piece that you have. Yeah. So today we've been, Mary, come on in. Today we've been with Mary Faulkner, And Joe Gregory, and I thank you ladies really for all of this today. It was wonderful to spend some time with you and to learn a little bit more about all the different things you have. And then there's another floor. So
Right.
we'll have to do that another time.
Okay.
Okay,
Come
all right.
back
Sounds
again.
good.
Yes. So if you're interested in more information about In My Backyard, you can email us, and our email address is inmybackyardch8@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you. Give us some ideas, or let us know that you have some information that you'd like to share, and we'll see that it gets in the right places. So
Or
thank
if
you.
you're from the area,
Yes,
we
remember.
would love to have donations if it has to do with
Yeah.
West Swansea or Swansea history.
Yeah, yeah. And you can volunteer. Give them a call. All right, we'll see you again in my backyard. Bye.
Okay. That sounds
Okay.